Rob?
You mean for the county, would it have to be?
Yeah, no, I mean,
for
as far as
zoning,
like
if you're,
the
for
historical.
zoning, you have to fill out a form if you're gonna tear down a building.
Yeah, as far as a,
Or
historical reason, like nothing has to be filed for that because it's not technically historical in the county, it's our historical.
I can't see putting 28,000, 30,000 in it. It would be different if it were used for something.
Right.
I get that.
And it's not, I mean, I don't know it's not that big. It was okay for storage, but it's not.
It talks about
14 by
size.
14 is not very big to do something with.
Yeah, 14 by 14.
Yeah. So.
If someone can save it, if somebody would want it, that's the route I would go.
Okay, so Sauter, Ghost Town.
Or Cook County Historical is like she said, she doesn't think they've grown, but at least reach out and ask.
I know plus I'll take it. The Hancock County landfill.
You have me going for a second.
Or
a bonfire.
I can see a bonfire at the park.
You could have the bonfire at the
Do they
park.
need wood for the fire pit for the hot dog Christmas?
What about for park districts? Would a park district be interested in it? Luxembourg or Wood County, they have that old pioneer setup thingy.
And if none of those, if no historical place wants it, there might be people that do that kind of stuff that would take the logs.
Yeah.
Well,
they take the usable.
But they would have to do it themselves, right?
Right, they would have to.
They would be hiring them, just like when we tore down the mausoleum, I remember that. I was disturbed because I wasn't part of the decision makers, but the contractor came and took it and they left them keep all of the stained glass. I thought we should have kept the stained glass. We paid them to destroy it, so.
Well, let me reach out to a few places and see if there's any interest.
Then it would just be the cost of the village.
Pardon?
It would just be our cost to dispose of it if need be.
Yeah, so if you could find somebody who would even just take it for the logs.
Well, then
Right.
maybe the next step would be to do the govs.com, and then the next one would be Facebook, any local yokels who would like it.
Yeah.
But I agree, if Gary's straight, do you have his number?
I can get it.
I was going to say, Nancy would know it.
Yeah, I can talk to Nancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And make sure that we have pictures of it too before it gets.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I went out and took some this morning. I agree. It's got like big holes in the side that you don't see.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it as much until those trees were gone, and I drove by
I
and
know. That's a bigger space than you would
huge,
think
yeah.
too. Yeah, it's like huge. And there's shelter houses in there.
You notice it now because there's nothing else.
There's nothing there. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, we probably should get rid of that.
It's a and it's a whole
really makes
different
it
view.
show
It really shows it
Yeah.
comes out now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else under new business?
Thank you for putting that together, Deb.
Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it, Deb.
I'm gonna go pick up my child.
Okay, council reports. Beth, do you have anything?
Other than, let's see, what is it? Wednesday, November 19th will be the finance committee at 5:30.
Okay. Sarah?
I don't know.
Tyler?
Well, the zoning meeting next Wednesday, the 19th. There's a setback thing to review.
6:30. Mike?
I don't have anything.
Haley?
We have Parks and Rec this Wednesday at, I don't know, 5:30.
Just so everyone knows, Lisa Mansfield is planning on coming. There's a group of them that want
that
to,
bench.
pardon?
For that memorial bench.
Yes, do a memorial bench at the park to honor Theodore. I was going to say Teddy Theodore. And anything else, Haley?
No, that's it.
No, this time.
Okay, no students here. Do we have another student?
No, I do have an update from them though, that's why I was on my
Okay.
phone at the beginning. They have contacted Shirley's Popcorn for a fundraiser and also World's Finest Chocolate. they are working on speaking with the committees to do the decorations and the flower pots, and that's all I have out of them.
Okay, thank you. We have no legislative, so we're up to you.
Well, like I said, I've just been working the best I can, and we've got everything covered here to where we're good. The budget, like I said, the temporaries we're kind of fine tuning now, but they are done and ready to submit whenever we need to. Do you have any other requests for the finance meeting?
Hopefully we can have that,
Primarily, let's do,
Okay.
or outline.
yeah, the quote for the mower too, hopefully that.
Oh, okay, yeah, give them a quote by then.
I know you've appropriated some money into that, but.
Yeah, so far.
Did you see the list about the cybersecurity stuff?
What?
Cybersecurity?
Yeah, I think they sent that out a couple months ago.
There could be, I don't foresee it being a big cost, but depending on our IT people, there could be a cost for that, so you might wanna inflate the IT services just a little bit.
Yeah, we put money in there. We put money in there for that.
Okay. Anything else? If you have anything that you would like for finance, let Melanie know. Thank you. Administrators report, we have that. Rob, he's still working on gas cases. Tammy's been very busy, but she has been ill.
She has more.
Yeah, Mitchell has been doing some on his own, although it panics Tammy at times, but, seems to be doing okay.
I do have a question, I guess I could email her, but, now that she's got Tyler, is there a way for her to give us like a monthly report? That she always gives us her runs or her totals and stuff, but I think that it
Have you
generates.
seen one before?
I've seen one,
Can you
yeah.
snag that, so we have a, I mean,
Just as a like as a monthly
okay,
report, it doesn't give details as far as what they did.
Right.
Similar to like what the sheriff's does, but so we can get like a handout.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Cool.
And then if you wanna look on page 35 and 36, I did include the last two. Of course, September's came the night after our meeting. And then, 7 incidents, no crashes, no citation, and no business walkthrough for September. October, 6 incidents, no crashes, 1 citation, and if I remember right, that was somebody, maybe they didn't put that.
I do have a question. There's one very active girl on the community forum. Someone commented about a suspicious person walking around, and everybody knows who it is. But just so, from my understanding, he doesn't cause any issues, correct? He's not harmful or ever have any kind of.
They did have to call the cops, the sheriff's department on Saturday for him at the dollar store when I was there, so.
Like inside the store?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
was told, by the Findlay Police Department that he had an issue, with a weapon when he was asked in the store, but that, I don't know the last time he's been to Findlay, so.
Oh,
That
okay.
happened in Findlay, so I don't know how the time frame of that, so.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, but he was arrested and detained for that, so I did find that out today.
Okay. I mean, she was putting all kinds of stuff on there that I don't even know if it's true or not.
Right.
That's obviously a thing with a community page, there's all kinds of things that go around, but then you have everyone freaking out about this guy that.
I do know that when it was posted, Mitchell was on duty, and I sent him a screenshot of it, and he said, I'll head down there, and then somebody said, oh yeah, the police have been down here, yeah, well.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have heard, there has been a lot of problems in the restroom at the park.
Yeah.
In fact, the one day Don came in and the boys were out, it was for the weekend. Greg and I said, just lock it. He had pictures and there were footprints. It's baby powder or flour or something like that.
Getting it from the, unfortunately, it's
Oh,
from the,
out of here?
Yeah.
Oh, I figured he's getting it at Dollar General, cause I know
No.
they were going to go back and
He-
follow up at Dollar General.
And I keep telling him, and he just hasn't said anything, so whoever, but I hate to say anything, because then people are gonna go and do it, so that's.
Right, I know, I know.
So, that's the thing, so, but he goes, as long as there's no powder, and he says one time it was cornmeal, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it was just all over the place, and I
I
said,
know that
well,
the SpaghettiOs were down Main Street this summer.
Well, I think they had an issue at the cemetery.
Yeah.
They
behind
did,
the
there's
porta
back-
potty.
station
backside
there.
of the road.
Yeah.
And who's doing
yeah.
this? Do we know?
Station it at, Kansas
Same
Presbyterian Church.
Allegedly the same person.
Allegedly, yeah.
And
yeah. Well,
back at the
when
one.
you see him with baby powder
Yeah.
walking down the road, yeah, you're like, okay. But,
So,
yeah,
the-
what do you do?
The bathrooms are closed now with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tar. The water, I think's been turned off at the cemetery.
Cemetery, yeah.
So I'm not sure where he's going to hang out to clean up.
I remember it being an issue last year when we shut the water off at the cemetery, and he had, no, I don't remember what he did, but there was an issue with one of the hydrants or something,
Yeah.
very messed up. But,
And I call him over there at the cemetery, so.
Is he still in the tent? Where's he at?
I think he's living in the camper out back. I mean, when I followed him from the cemetery, I followed him down to watch, just kind of, see if he's
Yeah.
causing any problems or where he's going, right? So he went right across Maple Street, right through the alley where the two trailers are, went to the back of the lot where the farm field is, he turned left, and then, of course, I drove back to the sewage plant, and then I seen him open the door and walk into that camper and was sitting on the backside, so.
Does Tammy do a wellness check with him, or
Pardon me?
does Tammy do a wellness check or anything?
She
with him?
has, I mean,
Okay.
I don't think there's anything you can do unless he's actually.
she tried to get him hooked up with different places, she's talked to the mother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The only problem, just like there in Finley, I mean, they admit him there, but it ends up that, they can only keep him for, a week, and then that's, yeah.
It's sad that we don't have places for
Right.
individuals like that anymore.
No, he definitely needs some help, but it's just,
He also has to be willing for it and not shut us.
But as far as your Facebook, the comments on Facebook, I don't think there's anything you can do to stop it.
No,
There's-
no.
I was just
and that-
making sure I was right when cause I was,
yeah.
like, she just, said he was robbing this, and I get, he takes advantage, but he's not robbing a free food
Free,
pantry.
you can't rob something that's free.
Right.
They're to be taken.
Well, there's another one that's there all the time that loads up the banana boxes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen her property? They cleaned it up and it looks exactly the
I
same.
know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
She did, they
Can't
put,
handle that.
assessed her taxes with it, and she did.
Oh,
And so,
it's gonna be a bunch of really thing, like,
Who needs that many bananas?
yeah. Okay, we have no birthdays this month. On October 25th, I spoke out at the Macomb Dental Group's 65th. They are basically the oldest business in town, like the library, the post office. Other places have been here, PFW, American Legion, we had that, but 65 years, so I read a proclamation that we had made up for them and gave them the key to the village, so they were very excited about that. Speaking of properties, the Lessons, the Newell property, they should be out by November 18th. Today's the 10th. I contacted Rob, he sent them a letter I'll just kind of tell you, just to remind them that they surrender their date of the subject property. Having not removed yourselves by September 18th, you are obligated to surrender the property on or before November 18th. Please advise me or the mayor of your plan. Should you choose to not surrender, he will have no choice but to file eviction proceedings in Findlay Municipal Court. That unfortunate filing will result in the quick removal of yourselves from the property with little or no time to gather your belongings. Interior items of the home will be placed outside at your expense. Please consider the contents of this letter and carry out timely plans to surrender property and retain items of personal property. So that was sent by Rob, it was emailed by Rob, and Mitchell actually knocked at the door and dropped off a letter. I have not heard anything back. I talked to a lady in Adult Protective Services that has kind of been working with them. Anna told her she thought she had a place possibly at Breckenridge in Findlay. But I don't see any movement. So just want to keep everybody updated where we're at there. Kind of sad. You did the thank you. We'll do the third one I sent out while we were talking. I'm going to send it to Grubbs based on their help. The other item that I kind of really want to talk a little bit about, and Beth, I had included you on that original email that I had sent to Joe Wasson. There's a copy for everyone. It started out, basically, my email to Joe dealt with the power and the idea that he had met with 3 of them from the community partnership, trying to decide what they wanted to do with the buildings for Hometown Christmas. And I just wanted to meet with him and go, okay, what are we doing? Do you have electric? How many meters are we looking at? Where are we at? The girls from the partnership, Joe had told them that there'd be a turn-off, turn-on fee, plus they would have to pay the month of December. In the meantime, I checked with AEP because AEP said there is no turn-off or turn-on, and then Joe did come in here and say there is no turn-off, turn-on, but by that time, I believe the partnership, which I didn't make it to their last meeting, the county had a mayor's meeting, and I think they are just going to do all the other buildings in the windows and skip over Joe's for now. So you can kind of see in there, I asked him then about the EDO, is it still functioning? I remember when Carrie was here, she had said that they hadn't met for some time. I think John is vice president, and John said they haven't met. And then do you still plan to do the main building downtown soon? So I sent him some pretty questions, you know, do we start to look at the area out there on the Morrison property to, you know, bring some life to the town? With him owning all the buildings, there's not a whole lot we can do. So Joe got back to me, and we set up a time to meet, which was on October 16th. And Joe brought Mark Glass with him, or Mark came at the same time. They do still have EDO meetings, but they still do have an EDO, but no meetings have been taking place. And part of that reason that I wanted to know that, previously when we were looking to develop the property out here, and before that even, we had tried to get some something going with the Finley, planning group, their economic development, and Greg and I met with Tim Malley, and then also with a Dan Shearer. Both of those gentlemen have since moved on, and now there's a Chris Keller there, but every time we met with them, they always would say, well, Macomb has their own EDO, we don't want to step on toes, which I get that. But if we're not getting any action, and it's either time for us to meet with them again and see if they can help us with some activity here in town, or if we go back to Joe and go, okay, what are we gonna do? So anyhow, during that meeting, Mark and Joe talked a little bit about the CRA. I was basically told that it was lack of my leadership, and that's why the CRA did not go through, and I shared with them. I went to the only expert that I knew, which was Matt at the time. And, you know, Greg did his research, Mike pulled some things together, we went to the school, they pulled things together. And I'm not sure that Mr. Blass knew what he said in front of Joe. Well, how much did you ask for? And Joe said 100% on that CRA. And Mark said, well, I wouldn't have asked for that. But they would like to sit down sometime and go over some things. And Joe produced a few graphs and some information. And it was just something that he had put together quick. And I told them, then you should have come and educated us on what this abatement would have brought for us, which it goes both ways.
Abatement for the taxes?
Yes. So again, I reiterated to him that I think the outcome might have been different if it would have been one of the downtown buildings, and I still believe that. So they're going to work on that a little bit. Mark then shared some of his go-to people for economic development, and he offered to reach out to them. And lo and behold, a day and a half later, I received an email from a Phil Downing from Downing Community Advisors, and he has done a lot with his company and his son that Troutwood, Ohio, which I believe is down near Dayton, and also with Riverside, and I'm not sure where Riverside is. He did do the whole Village of Macomb market analysis for Mr. Blass when he was looking at that property out there. So this Phil sent me an email, and I thought I could copied it, but maybe I didn't. Anyhow, he said, thanks for introducing me. They're prepared to offer an initial exploratory phase at no cost to the village. The purpose of this phase would be to learn more about Macomb's current situation, goals, and constraints, and to start shaping a tailored roadmap of how we could support you in the months ahead. To get us started, would you be open to scheduling a 30 to 45-minute kickoff call at your convenience? On this call, we would introduce DCA with your core team, line on the village priorities and visions, review a few baseline items, current economic development status, site, land assets, funding, incentive environment, so they can prepare for deeper work, and then agree on the next step, timelines and how we might structure any future. And I guess I didn't copy it, but I do want to, even though you get my scribbling notes, if this is something that we want to look at, I think we need to involve the school, we need to involve council. I thought about the township trustees, because anything outside, I mean, we're still talking for the good of the whole community. The community partnership, a few of those members, I thought about a couple of the business owners, Jerry Seifert, and then I thought about Mary Overman, but she has her hands full right now. Brian, who is the plant manager at Maker's Pride, and perhaps someone from Crush Crew, and I'd be open to others. But I don't want to go that route if council doesn't want to take a look at things. You want to drop that in and make a copy? Don't, you get my scribbles, but that at least gives an idea of what an initial talk would be. I have no idea the expense. I would think I might have some help through the community foundation, possibly, for some of that. And I'm not saying that we're gonna make this place huge. I just think we need to really try to figure out what we need here to keep it going and not dying out.
And the thing of it is though, when we, like with the CRA, I think that needs to be revised a little bit. But I think it needs to be, we need to put it out there, and I know it's on a by basis thing, but, you know, also that we need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence
Well,
you know, standing our ground with it, and then,
Yeah,
you know,
and like I said, you know,
enticing people to
just
come and
what
build.
little bit they shared. I wish I'd have had that information ahead of time.
Right.
And I, you know, I think.
Joe and Mark,
Pardon me?
you say more information?
What Joe and Mark
Yeah.
shared with me. I mean, he just had put some graphs together, and not, you know, they're not public drafts, but just an idea of, okay, so what would that have brought in for income that would have offset?
The triplex?
Well, that's the one he had worked on, but
Yeah, I remember him sending something to Jeremy Herr in school that was before you boarded onto us. He provided a pretty good analysis back then. Remember that?
that Joe did?
Yeah.
Oh, after the one meeting, he sent an email, Joe did?
It was a pretty lengthy email. I think it was actually addressed to Mr. Hurd, and then
I
you
did
had forwarded
get-
on to us.
I did get a copy of that, yes. But I think reading an email like that and looking at a graph, for me, I'm a visual learner, and I see things a lot different with a graph.
I don't think Joe provided enough information heading into the CRA conversation, but as far as the downtown buildings, if they're coming to look at it at no charge, I don't see why we wouldn't do it. That's something we've talked about.
It's just that we need to get it started.
Yeah.
to look at. I mean,
It's
'cause
something
that's our
we've talked
only-
about for a long time, so.
And it's our only avenue to do anything,
Yeah.
because those buildings, he has to be, it's his,
That
so.
will, we say, okay, we know we're not gonna get anything done here, what else can we do?
It wouldn't hurt to start out with a meeting, get some numbers. The first phase is not at our cost.
No.
So if they're gonna
No.
give us a projection of plans, then we say, okay, this is $30 million, but this is not something we can do. Or this
Yeah.
is something feasible we could actually look at, but.
And I think right now, there is a good, strong group that is working for the village through that community partnership. I would say probably 5 years ago, things were going the other way, but they would really like to see stuff downtown. And I know Laura has some, a grant coming through the community foundation to do some Thursday music things uptown here. So I went ahead and reached out to the Hancock County EDO and the Keller, I just lost her name, the gal, Chris Keller, is coming over here tomorrow. I think Dion Bauer may be with her. I said I can come there, or you can come here and I can give you a tour of the town. I think, as you can see on that, we have property out here. I know the school is interested in maybe half of the old golf course for growth. You know, there's some possibilities. Many, many years ago, I heard about like a connector road from the Cookie that would tie in out here, like by Snively's old place at 613. I don't know if that's even a possibility. I have no idea. But
Do we have to have someone come even to even see if those buildings are able to put money into them to fix them, or
Which building are we talking about?
the downtown buildings? Cause you have to have some, cause when you do like a home, or you buy a home, you have to have someone come inspect it, and does that have to happen for those buildings to say like,
For what use, or where are you trying to accomplish?
Well, if we're gonna do anything with them.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have if we're gonna come in and say, yes, we can, let's try these things.
Is Joe gonna be involved with any of
it would be up to Joe. I mean, those
I
are
was gonna
his
say,
buildings.
that, you have to get to that first, because it's possible to do those things with property we don't own, if the person that does own it's not invested. Can't force it. to
well,
do
no, I
something.
know that, I'm just saying, like, if, you know, Joe's on board and all of this moves forward, is it gonna be a stopping point, like,
He's
do
gonna
an
have to be a
inspection?
participant.
He seems like he's trying still. He's got the Primrose thing and the fire.
If the Primrose were to happen, that would be real positive.
Yeah.
I have no idea. He didn't.
What they say about the main building?
Because the drawings that he has prepared and the architect he hired, they have an office, 3 spots down from our office in Toledo. They're great furniture. He has poured a lot of money into it with the drawings and everything.
Really did not talk a lot about that.
Sure, it's a funding thing, and it's like he's donating where.
Right, and before, you know, I mean, I'm just stating, not taking sides, but
No.
before, and I understand that things have been said for a while, but before Mark came along, it was also a struggle for funds to do some of that stuff. Now that he is, you know,
Partner.
with ties and partner with Mark, things have opened up and they have, you know, investors, and so they have access to a little more money to be able to fund and do some things, and that's what they're trying to do also, so.
It would be a start if
Right.
he were able to do something over here.
And we also have to understand too, I don't know that how much of that, like Primrose, is really Joe versus Mark.
Yes.
And, you know, so,
I think they have a third partner,
Yeah.
from what I understood.
and I know there's some investors.
And we talked a little bit about the development out there. Of course, they were all gung-ho at the beginning, and then interest rates jacked
Well, that
up.
was right at the time when inflation was just
Yeah.
skyrocketing through
Yeah.
the absolute roof. Anybody that was doing a sizable job.
Well, not only that, it was for everything that they had going on currently too, in previously, they were
Is
busy.
that just on hold? That's not like a canceled, is that a canceled
No, it's
project?
not canceled.
It's
no.
just
Which
not
one?
now.
No,
No.
he did not say
No.
that, no.
No.
In fact, Joe sent some stuff on to this Phil, because he was on the email, and he included, still those drawings. The other thing that was brought up is the small nation that they kind of did down in,
I went on that trip.
Belcom.
I went on a trip.
Right.
Glenn was there, I think. Glenn Neal was one.
Did they open that up to the whole community to go, or not?
Myself went, Carrie went, it was known that the trip was happening, we were having meetings, and then we went to Bell Fountain first and visited with that Jason Duff guy who's wildly successful, helps when your family owns a rock quarry. But he's very knowledgeable, and he gave a lot of good information. Then he came up here, toured Joe's buildings, and at the end of it, he gave like a report, or his team did, on suggestions on your next steps, and I thought it was beneficial.
I think this is the whole thing, because it talks about the different buildings they had down there,
Could be.
and so they did send that.
2021.
You know, I don't wanna be another Gilboa who, you know, they fixed that town up and they really tried hard and we're successful, and then things started to fall apart again. I mean, I think the winery's still going strong, but.
And then Canadians.
Canadians.
Oh, yeah, the creamery, yes, yes. So, those are two big things that are kinda going on. I'm anxious tomorrow to meet with them, see if they have any ideas as well. I don't wanna step on the Macomb deal if they're gonna function, but on the other hand, if they're not, then we're not gonna get anywhere unless we reach out. And I had one gentleman once at a table when I first started said, you have to sell your town. You're right, you do.
Yep. How much assistance does Finley Hancock ADO
Pardon me?
Mass Group help? Cause it's not just a Finley thing, right?
It's the
Do
county.
they assist the county?
I believe so.
It's
And they do-
Finley Hancock, and they are supposed to be helping us, but they kind of
Well, they do a good job looking out for themselves, so I don't
Okay.
blame them, but they
Exactly.
don't help the surrounding communities, and just one example, again, I'm not knocking Finley, anyone that's listening, but, Ottawa's a good example, or Putnam County is a good example of taking care of their own and community, like surrounding local areas. And it shows when you go to the building services.
Yep. And, you know, I take 99 all the time, and I look at all those new apartments going up. My gosh, they're gonna be touching the border here one of these days, and if these guys don't get moving on their project, then they'll flood the market, I'm afraid. Okay, one other question, do we want to meet a half hour before the December meeting and do appetizers again? Or we could do 6:15, we can eat while we visit. Pardon?
That's on December 8th?
Is it the 8th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I can do 6.
Pardon?
6?
6 works.
6:15?
6.
6, okay.
Back to the power thing, are they still trying to figure that out, or is that no power? for those
There
buildings?
is no power. There is no power, there's no heat, so they could turn, if the group thought if they did turn the power on and they painted or decorated the windows, because there's no heat, they're gonna frost over and you're not gonna see it anyhow. So they have hired somebody to come and paint the windows of the businesses that are open.
I'm gonna miss, the Emporium. I would go in there to warm up and everybody.
Yeah.
You saw so many people walking around.
The M&M or whatever, he has
Oh, yeah.
that one will be used for the market, so there's
Okay,
heat in
that's
there.
true.
They are not using our building this year.
This room, they're not doing this room?
They are having little appetizers and stuff at the VFW.
Is the student community doing anything? Because last year they sold stuff, didn't they?
They have not mentioned anything.
Yeah, they sold candles, didn't they?
Last year,
No,
he
they tried
was
coffee out here.
coffee and
Oh.
tumblers.
Yeah, just if they do something, have them in a more seen area.
And the other thing, happy Thanksgiving. I won't see some of you until after that.
And December 10th. So I get my second niece or.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, you're getting the other one done?
Yep.
You're gonna miss appetizers.
Why not?
That's on the 10th.
That's on the 10th.
That's out.
You can pick out with us.
On the 10th.
On the 10th,
I
so
go in
you'll-
for my second one, so
That's when that.
I'll be here for the 8th.
The 8th, okay, all right, and that'll be Tyler's
Yeah, I'm
last
not missing
meeting.
that.
Yep.
You survived 4 years.
Last one.
So, other than that, that's all I have, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.